Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wolf, and welcome to the Swarm Ultimate Beginner's Guide. In this video, I'm going to take you all the way through an entire Swarm run, hopefully, provided I don't die, and I'm going to explain every single nuance and interaction and basic setup that you need to be able to understand this the moment that you get in. So when you first start, you will be moving with WASD, which I'm a big fan of, and then your auto attack will be directed with your mouse like so. However, if you press C, it will start auto-targeting and lag for whatever reason, but as a result, you don't really have to move anymore. As you collect enough of the orbs around you, you'll eventually level up. Your whole team will level up, and time will pause for a specific amount of time. Now you get to choose your 3 upgrades, and these are very, very important. This is the basis of the game. If you hold tab, you'll see the upgrades and everything they combine with. These are all of the passives, and these items will evolve. I'm going to take Radiant Field here because this is really good, and one of my personal favorite upgrades. It's an upgrade that you unlock a little bit later into the game, and these pauses you can use to strategize with your team, or talk about upgrades, or just talk in general. But as a result of getting this Radiant Field, it will evolve if you get a certain passive. So I want to aim for max health. Now with Yasuo, I also want to aim for crit chance because of his Steel Tempest, which is his starting ability. These are the actives that will go off passively. In this case, I'm going to pick up Yuumi Bot. Could be fun. I haven't actually used this upgrade yet, but she supposedly picks up XP for me, which will be really nice. So, the thing to be very notable about is you can very much pick the wrong upgrades and brick the entire run and pick something very counterintuitive to your character if you don't know what you're doing here. Now, in this case, you might say, I'll pick up these, but these scale with different passive slot options that could brick the entire build. So in this case, I'm just going to take the Steel Tempest upgrade again. Now level 3, you saw that I unlocked my Sweeping Blade, which is my E, which is the Yasuo dash, and he will dash, gain a shield, and he can also go through terrain. As always, it's Yasuo, right? And with that, he'll also do damage in an area around him. It can hold 3 charges, and it scales with ability haste, as well as just flat damage in general. So the plan that I'm going to be going for is a E-based dashing build, where I'm jumping through pretty much everything, trying to be a little bit cheeky. So in this case, I'm going to take ability haste, because it's going to make it so I can lock in the cooldown reduction on this. Now you can only lock in 4 things, and sometimes you don't have a slot for damage percent. It's an interesting one, that's for sure. So I'm going to take ability haste, and we're just going to keep killing things. We are on the very first map. There are 5 maps, I believe, and then there's something called Bel'Veth Trials, which I haven't gotten to just yet, but I will make a video on them when I get to it, by all means. But the Yuumi quest, which is something that you'll unlock a little bit later into the game once you've done some of the unlocks, just showed up. I'm going to make my way over to that. We have 15 minutes to make ourselves as powerful as humanly possible, but every now and then things will spawn around us, just like it did here. There will be a circle of enemies that you can just dash through if you're playing Yasuo, or run through on other characters. But yeah, this is a pretty decent choice here. I'm going to take the Yuumi Bot. This isn't too bad either, as it'll passively go off around us, but I am going to try and aim for a very specific build. So I want to try and aim for max health and health regeneration, as well as critical chance for my Tempest, or projectile count. We'll see. So in this case, I'm going to take health regeneration, because you'll see these passives slot into these spots here. And you can brick your build if you don't put the right passives in the right slots, because you want to hit the evolution. So the reason I'm going to aim for the health regeneration is an evolution for an item I don't yet have. So I'll be playing my slot choices and taking upgrades like level 2 ability haste to be able to delay having to take the wrong thing for as long as humanly possible. You may hit a point where it forces you to take the wrong thing, and that's just unfortunate RNG. There is a reroll that you can unlock once you kill 40,000 enemies, but I don't have that just yet. So in this case, if we take max HP here, it's going to give us the evolve requirement for max HP. Now to evolve it, you need to get the item down here to level 6, which is also going to require some gaming of the system here, or just some good luck in general. So in this case, we're going to pick up the max HP because it's very core to the build. So now I want to try and game this last slot as much as possible by picking up actives, or points in my actives, or points in things I already have, to try and fish for projectile count, to be able to create the ideal build that I'm going for. You can alternate this same style with whatever character you decide to pick, if you want to go for Jinx or Seraphine or Leona, whatever have you. It's the same basic principle across the board for what you want to do. Now, this is an elite, and thankfully I can dash out of his slam there. But he is going to drop an access card, which is going to give us a guaranteed upgrade for one of the things we already have, which will allow us to build our character that much better. So that's my Wind Wall, which you unlock at level 6. I just haven't had a reason to use it. And this will knock things back and block all projectiles. Now, in this case, this isn't too bad either. This is the Vortex Glove. If you get this to level 4, you'll unlock Critical Strike Chance as an upgrade and a passive you can get for Yasuo. So I would highly suggest doing that, because you can unlock Yasuo without having Crit Chance unlocked, which is what I did. Now, in this case, I did get kind of bricked, and I'm forced to pick something that I don't particularly want. But in this case, I'll take Vortex Glove. A reroll I would 100% use here. But that's not bad either, because I already have health regeneration, so it's going to work out for me. So I hit the Yuumi active there, and everyone on the team, which, I mean, obviously just me because I'm playing solo, has to hit the goal over here. So that'll be one of a plethora of objectives, which I'll be showing off during this video. They spawn every few minutes, every like 2 minutes or so, I'd say, and then you get insane upgrades like this. So we get gain health whenever you gain a gold, plus experience, minus pickup radius, every 60 seconds, vacuum all drops. This is definitely what I'm going to be going for. The long range option is not too bad either, but I'm going to be dashing into things as opposed to throwing my tornadoes at range. So as a result, we're going to opt for that instead. Now, you'll see the circle around me is the Radiant Field. Now, these things die pretty quickly to it. So when I dash in, they're going to take the damage from my Sword Strike, as well as my tornadoes. And you can also combo that with the exact time you're going to strike to land a shotgun inside a target. Okay, so in this case, I picked up projectile count, which is crazy good. So now I'm going to game the system as much as possible and take every upgrade that I can that is not going to fill out this last slot until I get Swirling Circulars, I think it's called. If I'm lucky enough. I might not be, but we'll see. So I'll take projectile count. I could have also taken max health there to try and game the system a little bit longer, but we'll see. Projectile count level 2 will give me even more tornadoes, which is spectacular for us. And I have no pickup radius, but if you're running over something, you're still going to pick it up anyways. So there's no real loss there, because I will be dashing into pretty much everything I'm aiming for. One of the other options I could have gone for was area size. This is scary, but I'm Yasuo, so no, it's not. Now, with these things, they do take a little bit of extra time to kill, but you can literally just run away from them now. It doesn't really make a difference. If you're playing Seraphine, you can shield and run through it. If you're playing Jinx, you can kill them, but it's a little more difficult if you're playing solo Jinx. But that's what you gotta work with sometimes. And now, like I said, you don't want to take this, for example, because I want to save that final slot. So now I'm going to try and aim for higher projectile count or ability haste, whatever gives me the highest damage. And right now, I think it'll be projectile count. Ooh, there's an access card, because we just killed one of the elites. That'll be health regen for us. That can be an item, or that can be a passive. If it's an item, it will slowly get you better equipped to evolve your stuff. And the passive option's not really as good from access cards, but, you know, you'll take what you can get, right? So, we have 15 minutes on the clock until we have to fight a boss, so the entire goal is just to get as strong as humanly possible. Utilize whatever accessible abilities you have, and whatever the game's given you, as well as rerolls, once you gain access to them, to make the most powerful setup you possibly can. Static Sword, honestly, that's not bad. I could take this and then focus on getting the max health upgrades, but I really, really want to aim for a cheese build. This is so good, though. But, yeah. I mean, I kind of trolled by taking Yuumi bot. I could have definitely had a better setup, but I'm going to go for the maximum optimization by opting out with ability haste here. I believe in the dream. Let's see what happens. So if we stand on MF's little buff here, that's another thing that you can unlock. That will give me the fireballs that you can see going off. And I get copped out here, but I am going to opt for the static sword. So I would re-roll here, but it took me 13 levels until I arguably bricked my setup for what I was aiming for, but I think I can still salvage it and still make something relatively good here. So we're going to pick up static sword and adapt on the fly. I was trying to make a buzzsaw setup for all of you that would have been exceptional, but we're gonna have to kind of work with it. Now, everything I get from here forward is going to be a guaranteed upgrade towards whatever I'm going for. I have set myself up perfectly. Now I'm just going to scale to the moon. So I can opt for Steel Tempest, but unfortunately I can't evolve it because I don't have crit chance on my bar, right? I didn't have a crit chance drop and couldn't take it. So I'm going to go for Radiant Field because once I get that to 6, I can opt for the max health evolution. Same thing in this case, you don't need these to be level 5, you only need to get the items to level 5. And then once you get to level 5, the level 6 upgrade will evolve you. So I'm going to do the same thing and take Static Sword. And then I'm going to take Radiant Field. Keep in mind I'm picking everything up because of the Yuumi upgrade that I got that vacuums everything every 60 seconds, which will level me like 3 times after a minute, right? Rather than leveling on a much more often basis. So we're going to dash into him. There's Radiant Field 4. And the reason I was aiming for Radiant Field is once you upgrade it, when you kill things with the field, or within range of the field, they will instantly explode. So that's what I'm aiming for. Now with the Yasuo, you can use his ultimate and block the Nocturnal dash to stop him dead in his tracks. So I'm going to go for... let's take Steel Tempest. And we'll slowly work down the elite. And I'll throw a tornado from max range, and there we go. Yuumi bot. A little unfortunate. Now that I'm deeper into the run, I shouldn't have really taken it. I should have opted for something else. If this could have been Swirling Circulars, I think it is, then this build would have been absolutely insane. But no dice this run, unfortunately. But I think we can still probably pull off something good here. And you may think I'm insane for playing max HP regen Yasuo, but just you wait. I assure you. Give me some time. We'll keep picking our Static Sword. Now, keep in mind, it is a 15-minute game time, but with the pauses that can take up to 30 seconds, you can very easily run a 30-minute match if you wait out every single timer. With Yasuo's Elite, you can also group things up and forcibly dash into them to do damage with Sweeping Blade. Alright, here's level 5, so now once I get level 6, I will start exploding everything in the shield. So I didn't get it this time. Vortex Glove I can also evolve because it's health regen, and I have the health regen, so technically here, Vortex Glove is actually the best pick, even though it looks like these two would be better, and this one would be technically better. I'm gonna get 2 projectiles here, actually. That might be the best pick, so we'll aim for that. If that wasn't 2 projectiles, then I would definitely have gone Vorpal Glove there for sure. Hopefully you're starting to get some of the basics of the game mode. It is exceptionally fun, and I will be covering pretty much every character, and every character that they add, so do feel free to stick around if I've been helpful, and hopefully the rest of it we can manage to win the run. So from here, the projectile count increase could be really good as well. The projectile count will also help the Vortex Glove. It doesn't unfortunately help the Static Sword. But we're going to opt for the Vortex Glove to try and aim for an evolve here. And once this level up goes off, or once the magnet goes off, I should be able to hopefully evolve a Radiant Field. It's going to be nice to me. For the wind wall to push off the bombs. No luck just yet, so we'll take the Vortex Glove. Now you need to be careful with these bombs. If you're in the radius of them, they'll explode, but you can dash in and kill them, or shoot them with Jinx or what have you, and then they won't explode. Here's now the Yuumi quest. Let me dash my way through here. Oh, right beside an MF boon. You do love to see it. The Yuumi quest's inbound soon. It takes a second to spawn, and will normally spawn on the other side of the map because Yuumi is an asshole. We're gonna pick up the MF buff, and it's lifesteal, so I basically can't die, which is spectacular for me. And now with lifesteal and the Radiant Field, I can technically just run into everything and be unkillable. Like, nothing can damage me. Pick that up, and now I need to push the Ball of Yarn into as many enemies as possible. So I'm gonna take the Vortex Glove here, and I'm gonna knock this thing towards... well, I'm gonna knock it this way. That's not too bad. Go around the side, knock it through everything else. There we go, and then we get another Yuumi upgrade. Gain movement speed for every 2 haste. I do have ability haste, so it's not too bad. Gain damage but lose ability haste, or picking up an excess card grants permanent damage. Now, we are getting into late game, so this will actually scale. pretty insanely once it starts dumping a bunch of elites, because I still have another 7 minutes to go, so not too bad all in all. You can see the static sword going off there. That's the lightning strike, the static shiv of swords. There's a Kog'Maw that just spawned on the map. That'll be the bombardments underneath you, and there is Kog'Maw right there. You can block his... Well, you can't block his projectiles with the Yasuo ulti, unfortunately, but you can force them to group up on each other, like so, and do some relatively good damage. Make sure you rush them down if you see that bombardment come down, because otherwise it's going to give you a real bad day. That's going to be our explosive embrace. And this is what I was looking forward to, which is enemies killed within the burn zone explode. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a second, as we can now run into everything and have them blow up. And if I get some of the other really crazy Yuumi options, I can get a size expander that'll make my field explode even further. Now, unfortunately, I can't evolve Yuumi, but I will opt for ability haste here for more dashes, because now it's going to get fun. The access card, like I said, will give you an upgrade that you already have. This is, even if you have empty slots, it will forcibly upgrade something you already have. So there might be a metagame strategy at the top end of killing elites first to get the upgrade, rather than picking up what you're getting in your passive slots. I doubt it, but there's some micro somewhere where that'll apply. Someone will find it. But, yeah. So far, we are clearing pretty effectively. And as we progress in deeper, it's going to change the mob types. So now we have these guys, which are a little bit tankier and a little more difficult to deal with. But we're not doing too bad. They just have a higher health pool, but they will do a lot less damage to you. And it'll fluctuate between times of very high density and very low density, as I'm sure you can see. So there's an MF shrine up, as you can see with the fact the entire ground is glowing. This is the Battle Bunny boon. And I got AoE! Now we're talking. Alright, so now we just chill. Anything that walks into this circle will take damage. And yeah, we vibe. Sounds good to me. I really hope it switches to, oh, it's going to. It's gonna switch to AoE ads. Perfect. Rather than singular. Try and aim my Vorpal Glove, which is the thing that's firing off around me, at the elite here. Keep in mind, every time we kill an elite and pick up this card, it's going to give us 5% scaling damage permanently. Pick up Static Sword. If I get lucky enough, this will be another Static Sword. That's what I thought. And then we get the major upgrade, which is going to create storms around everything. And this will just launch off. They could be over here, and it'll create a storm on them. And the storm obviously has AoE size based off whatever buffs you get, or if you have area size. So if I could, I would put area size and crit here, and things would get really, really fun, because I would be able to evolve Steel Tempest with the critical hit chance, and then I would get rid of Yuumi bot, pick up the Swirling Circulars, and those will upgrade with health regeneration. And yeah, I would have a very insane setup, even more so than what I have right now. If you're curious what you can get, like I said before, you can press tab, and this is all of the item interactions and what they evolve with. So for experience, you want whatever these items are. For pickup radius, you want Zaya's Feathers. Zaya's the last unlocked character. You know, crit chance, Steel Tempest. So then you want to make a crit chance build, you want to pick up these three. Or if you want to make a duration build, you want Tibbers, you know? You can get big Tibbers, and he's massive. Giga massive. I'm going to aim for Vorpal Glove 5, and then we're going to get the evolve of it, hopefully, in just a second here. We'll take ability haste from here. The maximum level is based off whatever you have access to. I've hit 36. Theoretically, with these two, you could go to 45, I suppose. Haven't done it just yet, but I will update you in future videos on that. I'm going to group everything up, and then dash in. Slowly walk my way out. Now generally, you can use either your dash or just walk out, because the movement speed is fast enough. There's 3 upgrades and 15% damage here, by the way. This is going to give me a second stream that rotates around me, like so. And then I'm going to get max health and dash my way in here. and pick up Steel Tempest 5. So now I have all of the evolves I'm going to be getting, which is the AoE Explodes, the Storms, and then the Tempest. So my build is basically done now. This is what I'm going to be rocking with the rest of the game, and we're going to take on Rek'Sai with. Unfortunate, I couldn't make like a Turbo God build, but, I mean, you know, it works. I'll take it. There will definitely be God runs on the channel if you're curious after this video. I'm going to aim for projectile count, because that's the last possible damage increase I can get, aside from ability haste, which is right there. Now the shielded enemies, you're going to want to make sure you dash behind, because they'll have a damage reduction from the front. As obviously they're holding up the shield. So if you're playing Jinx or any ranged carry, you're going to want to be careful where you're shooting them. But yeah, so we'll press E. You know, it's difficult. We're going to go for the other Yuumi quest, and if I get very lucky, I'll get Size Expander, Size Randomizer, which will make it so this shield, or this area around me, will pulse outwards. Or we just get something really busted to add to the build. This is one of the nice things that they've added in, so that once you're capped out, you can still keep getting more and more powerful. We've chased the red dot to make Yuumi proud, and there we go. So, now we have it that I gain increased movement speed, increases and decreases to your movement speed, are also added to your damage. Now, I don't gain movement speed from anywhere. Metabolic Drive, or Overdrive, will regenerate 60 or 20% of your health per second, or reduce your max health by 60%. This is crazy good. You'll literally be unkillable, and I'm going to take this for the boss, where this would give you more health regeneration. So in this case, now I should pretty much be unkillable aside from a one-shot, which I can dodge out of with pretty much everything. Now unfortunately, I didn't get any crazy damage upgrades there, but I will work with it. Take max health to make up for the fact I just cut my max health in half, and now we chill. So now I can literally run into everything, because if I take damage, I regenerate 20% of my max HP per second, plus I have Yasuo Shield. So, coupled with the fact everything will immediately explode, so now I'm the aggressor. I can just run clean at them, and after I kill everything, it'll just automatically pick it up every 60 seconds. Which means that life is very, very easy. There's another MF buff, so we'll pick this up. Actually, I'm going to leave this for a second, and I'm going to pick it up on the boss. The boss is going to spawn at 15, and it will pull the entire map to the boss location. So I'm going to group him up on the wind wall and lock him in. And just keep bouncing him in the air, since it knocks back. We've got ourselves another minute here. I'm going to pick up max health 5, just to ensure my safety on the boss. We're gonna lock him on the wind wall again. Oh, it actually despawned. Ah, well, I learned something. What do you know? Good to know. Pick those up within a minute, or they despawn. Congratulations. We both just learned something. That's a shame. I was gonna cheese the boss with whatever it was. Oh well. Maybe the buff would have lasted into the boss fight if I picked it up. Fine, I'll do it the old-fashioned way. That's okay. 3 more levels, and I'll cap out at 35. And I should hit 35 as I just go into Rek'Sai. Now, as I said, yeah, things are going to run me down a little bit, but if they hit me, my health regen is now way, way, way too good, because Metabolic Overdrive is definitely a very good upgrade. One that I dare to say might get nerfed at some point, because there's going to be some Briar clips on the channel where I do some very stupid things, but you know, we'll keep it our own secret for now. And with that, we're going to have Rek'Sai at 15. And my XP is going to come in just at the end, and she's going to spawn. And she's going to dash around, as well as drop all of these circles on the ground. Now, you're going to want to kill her hive of sorts here. And after you kill this, she'll then spawn to be hittable, like so. I've already done damage to her without actually killing her mechanic. So now I'm just going to stay close to her and slowly burn her down, because I have my AoE field I want to keep her near. And I'll use my E to avoid any of the pillar drops, like so. If anything decides it wants to be a problem, these sharks I can block with my ultimate. So I'll just put those up like that. and slowly take her out. She's gonna then pop out of the ground, dodge the circles, and slowly work her down. During his E, I believe he is untargetable for that half second, so you might be able to use that as an iframe window as well. We're gonna throw down our wind wall for one last time. And once she goes into her final stage, we'll drop her here, avoid the sharks, sidestep that shark, and that one. And she's going to come out on the other side, avoid that narrowly. And that is Swarm.